Hello, YouTube. How are y'all doing? I hope y'all New Year's was good, and I hope y'all New Year's holiday is good. Also, I came on here to do shadow work part 2. But also, I gotta keep telling you, I just don't do tarot readings on my channel. I also do like spiritual work, healing work, and things like that to help my viewers and other people to heal. Because I do heal too. I also wanted to, show you my book, Shadow Work. So the first part we did was acceptance here. Yeah. Yeah. We did self-discovery and self-acceptance on my part 2. So let's do finish this chapter up. How about that? Let's start. We still in self-acceptance and self-acceptance and self-awareness. So, it says here, you sought me mentor stereotypes, and I brought you what you expect, and how do you influence us as people? Well, there was almost 12 stereotypes on my part 2. 1, I did stereotypes to 12 of them. But let's start. This is a personal who I have used a lot in the Texas in the mask that you wear when you're illustrating with the outside world. The unconscious mind leaves breathing and surface is the one that influences the way it's present itself to people. You felt it before and how you became frustration of your true self around people. So what that's saying is we get around people and we wear a mask. We don't show our true identical self. We don't show ourselves to people. I used to do that, YouTube, as an example. I didn't show my true self to other people either. I had to learn that. It took me a long time to be enlightened. I don't come on YouTube to just do tarot readings. I come on YouTube for people to identify who they are and also what is around them in their environment. But what it's saying is, you're not like the world don't show who they truly are. And when they don't show who they truly are, they put their feelings, their emotions, and everything in a back burner and they try to bury it like it doesn't exist. When you do that, YouTube, when you put your feelings and your emotions in a back burner, eventually they will come out. Eventually the truth will be revealed. Because even though you can go in front of your friends, you can go in front of your family, you can go even on YouTube or any other places and put on a mask. And when you putting on that mask, you could be this person on, natural TV, as let's show that as an example. But your lifestyle is not that. Your lifestyle is something else. That is putting on a mask for other people. Some people don't want to deal with shame and guilt and heartache and pain and things like that. But we have to identify them so we can heal. I learned that. It taught me a long time to learn that. When you're wrong, you're wrong. When you're right, you're right. But when you're showing just not your emotions and your feelings and things like that, it can really destroy your life. It's like you're walking without a soul, like I was telling you on my first one. It's like you're walking like a zombie. You are not showing your emotions. Everyone is human being. Every person is a human being. And everyone has emotions. So let's finish up. There is a person. Okay, so let's finish up. I think I read this one. Okay. It says here, That is the person that I'm present when I prefer to stay non-confronting. It is not a bad thing. It can be, but it's necessary for us. We need the ability to adapt to our environment. When you are in a high stressful space, the last thing you want to do is to let the full experience of your emotions loose. So like I was saying, YouTube, we do not show or identify our emotions. Emotions can be anger, love, joyful, gratitude, also, inspiring, cautious. All our feelings can be balled up and we can try to put them in the back burner. But we have to identify them to heal, like I was telling you. That's a part of shadow work. Even part of shadow work, we was raised as children the wrong way for some of us. We have learned patterns as children to keep doing. And I even went through that. In my childhood, you learn patterns, and those patterns sticks to you until you're a grown person. And then when you get a grown person, you don't know how to, deal with them. But you have to identify them, YouTube. You have to go all the way in your back childhood and wonder and understand, why is these patterns happening to me? Why is these things happening to me in my life? I could give you a little bit, and that is yourself. Because when you not identifying yourself, you have a right to say no to anybody. You have a right to have choices, to make choices, consequences to every action that you do. But when you're making choices, you need to look at, is they good for you? Is they going to help you to better your life, to better your soul, spiritually, physically, and also mentally? If those things are not bettering yourself mentally, spiritually, or physically, you do not need to be dealing with the people or situations or anything that is not doing that for you. That is being unbalanced. Unbalance is, you have to ground yourself. You have to do meditation. You have to do shadow work. You have to also, do any of your higher up, whatever you believe in. You have to have some type of spirituality as also practicality. Practicality is like, you're taking care of your self-love. You're taking care of yourself. You're taking care of your household. We also have the true self in the sense of which we are and permanent level. It's the biggest source of our collection of unconsciousness and help us to communicate our outer feelings. So when we take care of our emotional feelings inside of us, our outer feelings will show, because we taking care within ourselves and our emotions. Sometimes I even done it. Like this week I done it. And didn't even identify, but I did it. YouTube, I took something personal this week, and it showed out in the outside. I kept it in for a long time, but it showed in the outside because I didn't identify it within myself. I did not. Why am I feeling the way I was feeling? But I had to correct myself, like, girl, go within yourself and see why was you feeling the way you was feeling. Because it came outward for people to see. It says, here we develop our general ideas and discover we are normally born with our animalness. So unlikely the shadow, it's not something that gets space over time, but has already become a shape. It's already here, just waiting to discover. It says you will have freedom. It can also be sudden influences by what we often feel around in our personal consciousness. We have the self and the ego. So that's what I was doing this week. YouTube. I was in the ego self a couple of days ago when I should have been in the self. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us in this world, everybody in this world as a human being, have a self and have a ego self. And I was in my ego, and I had to check myself. But it says while we hiding it behind all our stereotypes, we consider keys. I don't have a chapter to the ego, or frankly, I think it's a book that all it owns. The ego is you. The ego is you. And also, it is the center of it all. Thinking of the ego as the sun and the rest of you as the solar system. It is the voice that seems so far away in the back of our minds, trying to steer you towards conflict. I went through it this week. Doing that. Ego, putting it in the back of your mind, and then it come out. Is the center of all, thinking of the ego as the sun and the rest as it is a solarplex. It is the voice that seems so far away into the back of our minds, trying to steer towards conflict that needs to be resolved. A lot of us keep that in the back of our minds when we know that our ego and our feelings and our emotions needs to be resolved. Not for the outer world, but for yourself. You know? It says it is part of you that is you. And when you are conflict and disagreement between your stereotypes, the ego can easily fall away and become smaller and unimportant. Meaning that sometimes it acts out because you not giving it attention. The ego self, because you're not giving it attention. That means doing the shadow work, looking at yourself, looking at your failures, looking at the things that you should work on. One of mine came out this week, and that was low self-esteem towards another individual that had nothing to do with it. It was low self-esteem, and I had to learn about going within myself. And I'm like, why do I feel this way? Because I had low self-esteem. It says here, is mentor the ego into the book as a reflector of other names, which is usually when you act out of character. This is the sense between the part that makes you. The ego is supposed to be the leader and director, but when it seems dismayed, its voice rises the top of your conscious food chain. So it's like you can't let your ego be in front of yourself. You have to let yourself be in front of your ego, but you also have to heal your ego. You have to identify your ego. You have to identify your wrongs, your failures, the things that why is you feeling the way you feeling? Like, I had to identify why was I feeling the way I was feeling towards another person. Okay? I had to identify that. And what was that is because of low self-esteem. That person probably wasn't even talking about me. But I had a feeling, and I felt like the person kept saying, and then I got in my ego self. And I had to check myself this week. Because I'm a human being. And because everyone has failures. Everyone has faults. But if you don't identify those failures and your faults, that's when you have a problem. That's when you need to identify those things and correct yourself. It's okay to correct yourself, YouTube. I correct myself all the time. It's okay to correct yourself. Because when you correct yourself, then that's a lesson you will learn. If you do not correct yourself, that won't be a lesson that you won't learn, because you will have to keep going over and over and over doing the same thing until you learn it. So that's what I wanted to read about shadow self to you. But I had to also put a little bit about myself. But when you do shadow work, you find a lot about yourself. Like this week I found out I still need to work on my low self-esteem a little bit more. You need to, like, shadow work makes you look at yourself. It make you look at your ego. And working on your ego helps you to identify yourself so you can help others, but not just others, but yourself. That's what's wrong with today's world. They try to cover up their real self. They try to cover up who they really are. But everybody should know in the world, everybody have failures and flaws. And when you try to hide those failures and flaws, that's what makes you different. Your failures and your flaws make you different. YouTube. They make you who you are. And when you don't try to hide them from the world to them to see, that's not good, because it won't help others. But it's also is not good because it will make you feel like you're lost. I had to learn that it's okay to have failures. It's okay to have an ego. It's okay to have things in your life. Those are the lessons that you have to learn. And I have learned that for almost 4 years. I am still learning that. Yes, I am a tarot reader, but my tarot reader channel is to help people in their environment. But not just help them with their environment, but also help them within themselves. What are they not looking at in their patterns to change the cycle? That is what tarot reading is about. A lot of people say tarot reading is about, telling everybody business, but it's not. It's also a message for the viewers, and it's also a message for you. As you pull a card, it tells you about you, that viewer. And it also tells you about a message you need to know. I know that because I did tarot reading on myself for 1.5 years before I even came on YouTube. I don't care how many viewers I get. I don't care about that. I care about people finding out how to heal themselves, how to love themselves, how to identify themselves so they can be better for the world, and also to help others. It's okay to be different. I am a different person. It's okay to be a different person because the world needs to see how different you are. Hiding yourself, hiding your ego, hiding your feelings, hiding your emotions, hiding your what's up. You can't be doing that. You know who you are. You can't be a teacher and also you have to be a teacher and also a learner. I learned that. I'm a teacher and I'm also a learner. On my channel, I try to help others, but I also want others to help me, because I'm a human being. When you're not showing others who you truly are and not letting the world know who you really are, and you sitting around here putting on the show for the world and on TV, and this is not the real life you live, that is going to be a problem for you. Because it's always the truth will come out. The truth will set you free. I have learned that. And shadow work is the best thing. It is the best thing to do. Because I didn't go through shadow work. I thought I knew everything, talking all crazy out the side of my neck, thinking I know everything and all that. And I had a bad self-esteem. I had bad ego. I had also, abandonment issues. I had all those type of things. And it took me time to heal them. And it took me time to change them. And it took me time to identify them. It's work doing shadow work. It's work doing shadow work. Because you could teach people all day long, but what you teaching that person, is you doing it? Because if you teaching a person and you not even taking the advice that you giving to others, that ain't good. I learned those type of things. That's why I don't hide myself from my viewers, and I don't hide myself in the real world. I'm who I am. And sometimes I'm going to have bad people that don't like me. Sometimes I'm going to have good people that don't like me. But I still go live the day to day. It's a God take me out this world, and I'll be wherever He want me to be at. I have a message to tell, and my message is to tell y'all what I know. My message is to tell y'all to love yourself. My message is to tell y'all to identify spirituality. When you do your spirituality work, it will help you. It's okay but being of this world. But you also have to fill your own cup. You also have to do spirituality. You also have to take care of yourself. So, let's pull one of these. These are my chimes. I'm going to be pulling for you, and then I'll be on my merry way. I hope you guys have a good, New Year's, Let's see. We have here the veil, from the source of good fortune and creative success. That is 50. It says here, a new beginning also values to provide stableness and foundations for a new life, and also where you can experience to be transformed and remain, just as wood become fire and also become food. The experience of life can be brand and transforming into a meaningful wholesome. What is the veil of transformation? What are your beginnings? What will you cook? So I just want y'all to know, thanks for coming on my channel. I am conscious and showing up here. It says, some traits of our dreams for conflict, a Yaso confronting into the enemy of progress. Success requires showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it, and even when it feels uncomfortable. It takes guts and endless voice to stay conscious to your dreams. Dear soul, action. Journal where you can be more conscious in your life and ally with the soulful goals that shows up. So yes, you take care. This is Divine Spiritual Tarot, and you take care. And I hope y'all have a good New Year's and make y'all life a new beginning. Take care. Bye bye, YouTube.